So yeah, I saw this video on Twitter of Matthew McConaughey and Austin Butler talking. And according to this tweet, at least, women have found this video and they have created stories in their head of this being sexual tension between these two guys, which is totally not. Like, when you watch this video, we'll watch it together, but this is not that, yo. This is not that.
Honestly, I was speechless when I woke up to
Oh, music.
how you been feeling.
I mean, it is weird that they're like looking at each other like from that angle. You know, usually this is definitely people who don't really like each other. You know, it's not like real friendship. Most people, it's kind of like it's a little bit distant, you know, and it's like there's an angle, you know, definitely not straightforward, right? Only time I could think that would make sense is like if there's loud, super loud music. But even then, you would want them to be side by side. But okay, let's say that these two do not like each other, and it's very possible that they look at each other as competition, which is crazy because Matthew McConaughey has been extremely successful, like the last 20 so years, at least, and Austin Butler is, you know, he's just now getting his shine. So it'd be super lame if that was the case. So it would make more sense if they were like mentor disciple kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, but I doubt it. But Matthew McConaughey. So this is the body language right here. Matthew McConaughey is clearly like more dominant because you can see the Austin Butler. He immediately, I mean, I gotta see how they, you know, this is just a clip. I want to try and find the longer version. But just from this clip, if there was any dominating going on, Matthew McConaughey is dominating him, you know, which makes sense. He's the older one. He's more seasoned. He knows what's going on. You know, Austin Butler is not as confident as Matthew McConaughey. So, you know, the folding of the arms says a lot, you know, so you can tell there's, you know, some dominating there, and Austin Butler's submitting, you know, so not trying to be a threat. Maybe he was for a quick second, but then he's like, oh shit, nah, let me fold my arms. Is this a, you know, this is what people do when we're kind of awkward or we're in a, you know, sometimes I like to cross my arms. Like sometimes I like it, but usually it's like if you're kind of nervous or anxious about something, or maybe not confident about something. So who knows what's going on behind these closed doors with these Hollywood actors, but maybe Matthew McConaughey might have dirt on him or something. But anyway, his arms are folded. So if there's any dominating, Matthew McConaughey wins this exchange. Eyes are deadlocked on him. And Austin Butler is doing most of the talking, and Matthew McConaughey's listening. Yeah. And then he pats him on the shoulder, right? So it's kind of like, you know, he's definitely not. Yeah, he's not trying to be the dominant one in the situation. And with the arms crossing and then patting on the shoulders is kind of like a tap out. If there's any, you know, mental or whatever head games going on between this exchange, that's what just happened. On top of that, of course, you know, these are actors, so they know that eyes are always like people are always watching them, so they're not even completely being themselves. So this might not even be a really organic like situation between these two. But assuming that it is, which I believe it is, because it could raise the stakes even more, knowing that people are watching them. You know, how do I want to present myself in front of someone like this? You know, and then now they're side by side, and then they keep walking. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about that because I thought this was a pretty like interesting thing to capture between two people in such a weird kind of situation where like they're face to face. It doesn't really look like a natural conversation by friends. It definitely looks like something, you know, somebody you might be competing with, you know. And I don't know what they were talking about. Probably nothing. Probably, you know, Austin Butler was just talking to talk. It was really just the eyes and then the body language. And so Matthew McConaughey already coming super close, yo. Like, back up, dog. Why are you so close? Like, and so Austin Butler, he's not going to back up because then it's going to look rude. And then it's going to look like, oh, we have a problem. You know what I mean? Because he's giving his face like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Austin Butler either needs to, like, he would need to either stay where he is, where what he's doing now, or he needs to come closer and be like, you know what I mean? So anyway, I thought this exchange was funny as hell, and those are my thoughts on that. But anyway, what y'all think in the comments? What you guys think in the comments?